The low, pulsing hum of the harmonics engine filled the sterile control chamber, vibrating in Dr. Avery Kellan's chest like a held breath, one that the whole world waited to exhale. Through the observation window, a shimmering curtain of translucent energy parted reality, exposing the unknown. Every eye on the research vessel Tesseract turned to Avery, who clutched the frequency stabilizer tighter, knuckles blanching. "Everyone ready?" Avery's voice barely cut through the din, but the reply was unanimous. "Let's make history," muttered Sora, her engineer, flipping up the toggles. The resonance threshold flashed gold. Above them, the rhythmic song grew more urgent, creeping into the bones of every crew member. Avery's comm buzzed. "Dr. Kellan, containment is fluctuating." "Hold it steady, Rama," Avery snapped, locking eyes with the data analyst. Inside, fear gnawed at her confidence. No one had ever crossed the boundary before. And yet, she couldn't help but feel the pull of possibility. If the math was right, humanity could change forever. With a shudder, the ship pierced the threshold. Sound warped and eddied, a shriek and a lullaby and silence all at once. The team floated in a weightless black, pricked with glimmering consonant specks, stars that sparkled to an inaudible rhythm. Then a wave hit, a chorus of shifting layered tones, not heard but felt, alive in the skin. In the alien twilight, silhouettes emerged, tall and slender, woven with fractures of light, communicating in spiraling bursts of melody. "They're singing to us?" Sora whispered, awe strangling her voice. Avery nodded, straining to decipher the patterns. "They're not just singing, they're speaking." The ground, if it could be called that, rippled beneath their feet, and one of the beings pressed closer, releasing a complex reverberating chord. Instinctively, Avery adjusted the harmonics field, humming a tentative response. The world brightened. Communication had begun, on a frequency never dreamed of before. Suspense twisted in Avery's gut. She knew this was only the beginning. Behind her, the resonance threshold flickered, unstable. Already, something wasn't right. Humanity had crossed into a universe strung together not by light or gravity, but by sound, and their very presence had set the strings trembling. A lattice of soundscapes flickered all around them, every wave a delicate thread that connected this world's very fabric. Dr. Avery Kellan's mind raced, parsing the alien harmonies. A misstep could unleash chaos. The tallest being sang again, its tone urgent, probing. Avery angled the harmonics device, projecting a soft, even pulse in reply. There was a pause, then gentle resonance, acceptance. "They're matching our frequency," Rama whispered, scrolling furiously through data streams on her visor. "It's stabilizing, for now." The lead alien extended a hand. Rings pulsed from its palm, forming a visual loop between Avery and the entity. The team huddled closer, hearts thumping to this new rhythm. Sora's fingers darted to a portable spectrograph. "Avery, listen to this. Their language isn't just sound. It's structure. It holds this place together," Sora murmured, awe shadowing her words. "We have to be careful." A shimmer swept through the air, and with a gentle pull the team was ushered off their landing disc and into the city, if it could be called such. Towers and bridges sang their own notes, vibrating in chord with the populace. Pathways shifted with melody. A second, more discordant tone echoed from behind. The resonance window, humanity's doorway home, was flickering, unstable. Avery shot a look at Rama. "If that shuts, we're cut off. We don't even know what that'll do to either side." One of the aliens, shorter, voice bright and glassy, approached. It twined its melody with the others, forming a gentle question. Despite the pressure, Avery met their song with her own, a steady, uncertain tune representing peace. The alien hesitated, then sang a deeper, thrumming note. "They must sense it. The window's vibrations are wrong. We're upsetting their world just by being here," Avery said quietly. As the team walked through the city, the singing beings began to watch and whisper, their harmonies shifting into something uneasy. The ground beneath trembled softly, an undercurrent of disruption building. In the silence between breaths, crisis bloomed. Humanity's first journey into this new universe might also ignite its undoing. Avery looked at her team, steeling herself. If they didn't learn to balance these frequencies, crossing the threshold could destroy not just their chance at contact, but both universes themselves. Echoing through the crystalline city, the alien harmonics grew tense, discordant notes rippling through the streets like a warning. The dazzling structures pulsed with edgy overtones. As Avery tried to keep up, she realized her own steps and the team's voices set off brief ripples in the melodic architecture. Suddenly, the lead alien, whom Avery dubbed Male, stopped and dropped a deep, resonant chord. The group halted. Sora shifted, nervous, whispering, "We're being summoned. This feels official." Avery steadied her breath. "Play back the first phrase I hummed, Sora, as quietly and evenly as you can. We need to show them we mean harmony." Sora tapped the harmonics device. A soft, human tone floated up, weaving gently with Male's song. Instantly, the tension in the city wavered, uncertain, before slowly beginning to ebb. With careful, sweeping gestures, Male led them into a vast chamber at the city's heart. The space thrummed with living sound. A council of shimmering beings waited there, each radiating a different frequency, a chorus both beautiful and intimidating. Patterns played in the air between them, a tapestry of purpose and caution. One counselor, voiced as a rich alto, layered the question directly into Avery's mind. "Why do you bring imbalance?" Avery swallowed hard. "We seek only understanding. We didn't know our arrival would cause harm." Rama quickly piped up. "Our technology is faulty. We're trying to stabilize our window to your world. Maybe we can work together?" Confusion and suspicion mingled in the council's multi-voice reply. "Frequencies diverge. Harmony fractures. The thread between our worlds is fraying. If it severs, collapse follows." Avery's heart pounded. "Give us a chance. Let us learn how your harmonics work so we can repair the breach. We only want to restore balance, here and at home." A hush. The council seemed to confer in overlapping, complex melodies. Finally, Male sang a pattern that resonated with quiet hope. "We will teach. You must learn quickly, else both realms unravel." The stakes had never been clearer. Humanity's fate and that of this wondrous world now depended on Avery's ability to master a language of sound, where a single wrong note could mean the end of everything. Male guided Avery and her team through corridors alive with shifting resonance, every footstep harmonizing, or at times discordantly clashing with the city's song. Every structure, every surface seemed to respond to sonic touch, either glowing with warmth or pulsing in warning. The council's trust was tentative at best, but their willingness to teach brought a sliver of hope. In a crystalline amphitheater, Male began the exchange. The alien's hands moved through the air, shaping ripples of sound. Avery strained to emulate, feeling her own voice, musical but hesitant, blend into the weave. Her harmonic stabilizer vibrated along her collarbone, guiding her toward the correct frequencies. "You see?" Male's voice fluttered in Avery's mind, the meaning flowing through the music. "Harmony shapes all, even thought, even heart." Sora, perched at Avery's side, muttered, "Like learning to play a new instrument by ear, when you only know 5 notes. Rama was rapidly recording, her visor filled with streams of vibrating code. "I think I can start mapping the intervals. If we can decode these, maybe we can fix the resonance window back home." Pressure mounted. Each lesson pressed Avery further, testing her patience and intuition. She stumbled, sometimes sparking shrill feedback. At those moments, the amphitheater would dim, a subtle, gentle warning from Male. But with every failure came adaptation. Avery found her voice growing steadier, her understanding of these sonic structures deepening with every attempt. Over days that felt like mere hours in the sound-soaked city, the team learned communal harmonizing. With experimentation, Sora managed to synchronize a support drone's output with the alien soundscapes, momentarily stabilizing the city's vibrational pulse. The council responded with an encouraging chord. Yet, none of them could ignore the still flickering resonance window, now throbbing with a dangerous irregularity. Rama frowned at her readout. "The breach is worsening, Avery. If we don't get our harmonics right soon, collapse could ripple through both universes." Avery nodded, determination kindling. "Then we learn faster, together." For the first time, hope mingled with fear, and the undercurrents in the alien harmonies softened. Against every odd, the human team pressed on, each note a step closer to salvation or disaster. Avery's confidence teetered between hope and desperation. The lessons with Male grew more intense. Each session dove deeper into concepts that transcended human music or engineering. Here, sound shaped thought and reality itself. Inside the amphitheater, Avery's voice cracked as she bent a new jagged tone through the harmonics device, desperately chasing the shifting threads Male conjured. Male's chord flickered and faltered in response. Fear breeds dissonance, the alien sang. Trust the current, sing bravely. Sora, brow slick with sweat, adjusted the support drone's output, tracking harmonies on her tablet. Avery, you have to stop second-guessing. You're leading us. We trust you. Avery drew a slow breath, recalling the gentle rise and fall of her mother's lullabies. She let those memories sweep out in her voice, steady, sure, vulnerable. Immediately, a lattice of harmonics spun out, coiling and strengthening around her like protective arms. Male's chords brightened in approval. Better, Male sang. Resonance reveals truth. Rama's data confirmed it. The breach, it stabilized for a moment when you sang like that, but the window's still losing integrity. Back aboard Tesseract, the resonance threshold pulsed angrily, casting tremors through both worlds. Frantically, the human team scrambled to tune the ship's harmonic stabilizers, but it was clear they were fighting a rising tide. Each oscillation between universes shocked the city's foundations further. A panic spread among the alien populace. A rippling, high-pitched chorus of fear. The city's structures grew darker, their hums erratic. Male turned urgently to Avery. To restore true balance, you must reach the heart chime. Center of all harmony. Only then will bonds heal. But danger waits. Discordant ones will resist. Sora leaned in. They're saying there's a place, a source. If we can connect there, maybe we can reverse the damage. Avery, courage igniting, nodded. Show us the way. We came here as outsiders, but we'll fight for harmony, together. With a sense of purpose growing, Avery led her team and their new allies toward the core of the alien world, where the heart chimes sang, the only hope left to save both their worlds from oblivion. The city's melody had shifted. Where before it was bright and layered, now dissonant notes wove through the soundscape, a warning and a promise. With Male and a trio of trusted counselors as guides, Avery and her team pressed deeper into the heart of the alien world. They passed crystal bridges that rang underfoot, towers that shimmered with anxiety, and crowds of native beings whose wary harmonies echoed their uncertainty. At the edge of a shimmering sound forest, Male paused. Here lies the path of overtones. Only those in tune may cross. Dissonance awakens the discordance. Sora exchanged a grim look with Rama. I'm tracking hostile signal flares on the spectrum. Whatever discordants are, they're nearby. Stay behind me, Avery instructed, voice low but sure. Stepping forward, she sang a steady, rising scale as Male had taught, one pure note at a time. The crystalline foliage responded, their leaves chiming softly in resonance. Sora and Rama added their voices, the team finding a fragile interval together, inching forward. Shadows moved between the resonant trees. Disjointed, jarring blasts of noise broke through. The discordants emerged, twisted versions of the harmonious natives, their shapes jagged and movements like glitches in the air. They shrieked, dissonant waves colliding with the team. Sora's harmonics drone flickered under the assault. They're disrupting my stabilizer. Rama's hands shook as she braced Avery's shoulder. If we lose harmony now, we're done. Avery recalled Male's words. Trust the current. Closing her eyes, she let memories of her own struggles, the long road to scientific respect, the nights she doubted herself rise within. She sang not with skill, but with truth. Every flawed, frightened impulse twined with hope and determination. Harmonics shimmered from the team, meeting the discordance onslaught not with force, but with accepting resonance. An astonishing thing happened. Some discordants, struck by Avery's frequencies, wavered, stabilizing, their jagged edges smoothing, discord melting into sorrowful harmony. Those left retreated, their wails fading into the forest. The path cleared, the team advanced. Behind them, the resonance window's pulse flickered, the stakes mounting. But for the first time, Avery believed, truly believed, they could harmonize not just worlds, but lost souls on both sides. Hope, it seemed, could be sung into reality. The forest opened into a vast soundscape, a shimmering basin where every surface echoed with ancient melodies. Towering above it all stood the heart chime, a living structure like a great bell woven from crystal and energy, radiating waves of harmony into every corner of the alien world. The closer Avery and her team drew, the heavier the air became. Each breath was thick with unspoken notes, every footfall a test of their resolve. As they approached, a low, ominous thrum echoed from the ground, not quite in tune with the heart chime's pure pulse. Male halted, tension rippling through his harmony. Discord creeps here. The breach taints the source. Rama ran diagnostics, her fingers trembling. The resonance window's interference is spiking. If it contaminates the heart chime, the collapse will be unstoppable. Avery looked to Sora. How long do we have? Maybe minutes if we don't stabilize, both worlds fracture. The group spread out, each team member locking into their practiced intervals. Avery and Mail climbed the final steps to the heart chime, where the vibrations could be felt in their bones. The discordants reappeared, wailing in their fractured tones, drawn to the epicenter by the breach itself. Sora and Rama braced the melody, projecting human harmonics in a tight, pulsing loop to shield the group. For the first time, the counselors joined them, merging alien and human harmonies into one shared front. But as Avery reached out, a violent pulse shot from the heart chime, knocking her to her knees. In its depths, chaos swirled. A fissure had split the crystal core through which a storm of unstable frequencies poured. Avery could feel the pull, a desperate urge to run, to give up. Mail's hand found hers. Center yourself. Only harmony of heart can enter the chime. Avery steadied herself, fighting the negativity. This moment was her crucible. All that mattered was unity, between her team, their alien hosts, and within herself. Finding that inner calm, she merged her voice fully with Mail's. The merged sound pierced the din, a beacon through the storm. The heart chime responded, glowing brighter, but the fissure widened with a final devastating shudder. If Avery couldn't heal this breach soon, both worlds would fall forever out of tune. The race against collapse had reached its crescendo. The heart chime's core wailed, a raw, splitting note that sent cracks through the silent city miles away. Avery forced herself to focus, beads of sweat collecting on her brow. The storm of unstable harmonics bursting from the fissure lashed at her, trying to drown out hope itself. Sora's drone shuddered, its circuitry burning hot. Sora shouted, "Avery, we can't hold the loop much longer. The discordants are feeding off the chaos and the counselors." Across the soundscape, the alien council faltered, their harmonies thinning under the barrage. Several discordants tried to breach the circle, their discordance turning crystalline walkways to shrapnel. Rama knelt, voice trembling. The data is spiking. If the heart chime fails now, our universe will bleed through, and both societies will collapse. Avery squeezed Mail's hand, searching his eyes for strength. He offered a single, crystalline note, love and trust in perfect pitch. Avery's world narrowed, her fears, failures, old wounds, they were fuel for dissonance. She saw then that to heal the chime, she had to heal herself, and she had to let others in too. "I can't do this alone," she said aloud, her voice hoarse. "Sora, Rama, help me, harmonize with me, trust me." Sora looked terrified, but her voice joined Avery's shakily at first, then steadier. Rama, fighting tears laced in a counterpoint, bold and pure. Mail wove his song between theirs, alien harmonies entwining with human resolve. Together, their polyphonic sound built power. Avery reached for the chime, heart open, pouring raw truth and unity into the unstable fissure. The heart chime's light flared, and for a second all sound vanished. Time seemed to suspend. In the silence, Avery felt herself in two places, standing before the heart chime, and then suspended in that original void, facing the trembling resonance window. She realized the damage wasn't just here, it ran in both directions. She had to bridge both worlds at once. The teamwork, sacrifice, and courage of the humans and their alien allies began to resonate not only in the heart chime, but in the breach itself, sparking the first hints of healing. But the fissure still pulsed dangerously, and the last greatest challenge was yet to come, a true harmonizing of worlds and of Avery's deepest self. As collapse loomed, Avery grasped that the final step would demand every ounce of her being, and more. The fractured heart chime shuddered beneath Avery's trembling fingertips, its pulsing rhythm teetering on the edge of total chaos. Around her, the joined voices of team and council soared and faltered, all of them straining against the rising tide of discord. The air thickened, nearly crackling with dread. It was the darkest moment yet. Mail's presence anchored her, but the gravity of despair pressed down. Sora's voice was ragged. "Avery, the window's about to collapse. There's not much time." Rama's visor flickered. "Bridge the frequencies, Avery. The counselors can't last. Too much drain." In that instant, Avery saw everything with sudden, piercing clarity. All this time, her fear of failure had created micro-discord, both in herself and the harmonics. She realized the only way to harmonize both worlds was absolute vulnerability. She needed to share her whole self with the alien song, let her flaws and hopes rise unfiltered into the heart chime. She dropped the stabilizer, stepped forward, and began humming. Not a perfect mathematic pattern, but a melody born from every triumph and mistake in her life. Avery's harmonics faltered, then grew, as she sang of her longing to connect, of humanity's desperate wish to belong in the universe. Sora and Rama, seeing her example, let their own stories burst into their voices too. The counselors, sensing this raw openness, responded in kind, weaving in the sorrows and joys of their world. Mael's note rose sure and true, binding the human and alien harmonics together. The heart chime pulsed, cracks sealing, fissures fading as living melody stitched two worlds' wounds together. Yet the breach still wavered, its resonance window shrinking to a thread. Avery saw the discordance lurking, reluctant to yield. She addressed them directly, voice trembling. "You don't have to choose chaos. Sing with us. There's room in the harmony for all of us." The discordance hesitated, racked by indecision. For a moment, the entire universe seemed to balance on the edge of a note. Avery reached out, beckoning, but not demanding, and one discordant crept forward, adding a trembling, unsteady drone to the chorus. The effect was seismic. The heart chime's sound base rebalanced, accepting even fracture as part of completeness. Still, the resonance window pulsed frantically. Avery knew the final test still lay ahead. She would have to cross the threshold one last time, carrying a new song, and trust that this hard-won harmony could survive on both sides. The fate of two realities was about to hinge on one fragile human voice. Avery stood before the flickering resonance window, the harmonics device glowing in her palm. Behind her, alien and human voices wove together in the grandest song either world had ever known, a chorus of unity, loss, hope, and defiance. The heart chime's core, now pulsing with balanced light, radiated reassurance, but the breach was keenly sensitive. It glimmered and shrank, its thread-like form shivering with uncertainty. Mael pressed a crystal into Avery's hand. "Your song began this bridge. Only you can tune it for both worlds." Sora's gaze was tearful, hopeful. "We'll hold the pattern here as long as we can. Whatever happens, Avery, thank you for showing us how to trust ourselves." Avery drew a deep breath and looked into the window, a swirling portal between realities, vibrating with every song sung in this cosmic crucible. She stepped forward. The world around her faded into thrum and color, every memory swelling into her melody. Late-night experiments lit by the ache of loneliness, mornings of wild inspiration, the sting of every setback, the courage found in the eyes of her friends. Inside the rift, reality spun wild. Dissonance shrieked, trying to drown her. Avery closed her eyes and let every doubt, every scar rise, a song of imperfection carried on the purest thread of yearning. As she sang, frequencies from both universes spiraled closer. The discordance inspired by Avery's song lent their trembling voices, at first jarring, then rich with new overtones. Mael and the counselors anchored the song in alien harmony, while Sora and Rama sent pulses of data back to the harmonics field on the ship, tuning the very heartbeat of humanity to this alien world. The resonance window, caught between collapse and renewal, had never been more fragile. Avery poured everything into her final note, a sound of forgiveness for worlds colliding, of acceptance for difference, of hope that this bridge would never seal shut again. There was a blinding flash, a silence deeper than any Avery had known. She fell weightless through harmonic space. Then, with a gentle rush, she landed, once more aboard the Tesseract, her team and Mael gathered around her. The harmonics engine glowed with new, stable energy. The resonance window became a shimmering arch, a permanent portal, balanced and safe. The alien city and the human world sang through it together, new patterns born every day. Mael stepped forward, singing a note of gratitude and promise. Sora, tears streaming, hugged Avery tightly. "We did it by being human, not despite it." Avery smiled, changed and humbled. "We're all part of the same song now," and as the two realities echoed with shared discovery and hard-won harmony, the resonance frontier was no longer a boundary of fear. It had become an invitation to explore, to listen, and to keep singing together.